Carlyle,
what are you doing?
I'm trying to imagine that I didn't see this movie.
Oh, well, shit, you got room under that blanket for me?
Here, come spend time under my magic blanket where we can forget that we saw an Eddie Murphy movie.
Oh, no, I'm going to use that blanket to make a noose and hang myself.
Hey, guys, come on. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. Sometimes you got to take a bullet, even an adamantium bullet.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we have to fucking enjoy it.
This movie looks so bad, I'm not sure I didn't see it and like just perform a lobotomy on myself.
It's not that bad.
Okay, after that.
Now, it's not good. I mean, this is the very definition of milquetoast family entertainment. It is exactly the movie that you hate, Leon. It's the movie about the Disney dad. That asshole of a father who goes to work every day and puts food on the table and works overtime so that he can move up in his career so that he can provide for his family and they never want like he wanted when he grew up. But he's disconnected from his kids, so he's a jerk.
Oh, yeah, I hate those assholes. How dare you? You call yourself a father, going out working, giving your kids everything they want, taking them to Disneyland with that money while Disney tells you what a prick you are.
If anything, if Eddie Murphy is your father, you want him to get out the house. Because all he's doing all day is, baby, look at me. It's like, Dad, why don't you fucking go to work?
Now,
okay?
Hold on.
It's okay. I'm okay by myself, all right?
You know, that's not true. The thing is he doesn't do that. He's boring Eddie Murphy that's kind of sleepwalking through the day until he discovers the magic of the blanket.
Okay, I was about to say.
Then he's doing his minstrel show.
Yeah, I was going to say, you think in real life at this point he's like that? I think now he goes home through the back door and crawls into his bedroom, locks the door.
Yes, but
I can't face anyone.
No, in this movie, Eddie Murphy plays a financial executive whose career is kind of going down. He doesn't know what to do. He's not impressing people anymore at this firm he's been at for 7 years until he starts to pick up his daughter and spend more time with her. Now, she has this blanket that they called a Googa or a Goomba, whatever it is.
Did she steal this from Linus Van Pelt or something?
Yeah, he's on his way to kill her right now. Get my fucking blanket back, bitch. But and when she puts this blanket on her head, she starts talking to herself. Now, instead of like getting this child some help.
I was going to say, that's the time you go see a pediatrician.
Yeah, no, that's
a child psychologist.
That's some time you take her to a hospital because she ends up being Mike Myers when she grows up.
She's probably eating paint chips.
Well, now they explain that in the film as, you know, he's talking to a professional about it who has issues. Is like, look, we need to break her off of this. It was fine when you and your wife were getting divorced, but now it's a little too much. And so he's constantly trying to break her off of it until he discovers that those people she's talking to under the blanket actually give sound financial advice.
He goes into work one day. He looks like he's about to have a nervous breakdown. In movie fashion, like he goes in there, he's like, look, there's sparkles on this sheet. That means this happened at this company. Look, my daughter drew fish on this sheet. That happens at this company. Instead of having his ass taken out by security, they decide his boss decides to go back and like, I'm going to look at these and maybe he does have a point.
Is this like Harry Potter for accountants?
Well, now, hold on. You joke, but that does make rational sense in the movie. He goes in thinking he's about to be fired. Everyone in the office thinks he's about to be shown out by security. But as it so happens, the boss has some inside information that applies to one of the things he was talking about. So he goes, wait a minute, and he looks into all of them and says, how did you know this? Because it just looked like he was blowing up and making fun of this other guy who we haven't even mentioned yet, Thomas Hayden Church,
oh, yeah.
who plays a Native American stereotype.
I'm sorry, dude. How do you get like a blonde surfer like Thomas Hayden Church
because
to
he's
be
got
a Native American?
Because he's got a black mullet on with feathers tied into it.
And they
serious?
I'm not kidding you.
And a spray on tan, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, and they pretty much make him a red guy.
Jesus Christ. This is like going back to the days of the 60s and the old Daniel Boone show where they would just rub some brown paint on anybody.
I mean, the guy, he has comic timing. He's a funny guy.
Sure.
In this movie, though, he really does play an offensive role. And this is the thing that really, if the movie offended me on this level. It's like they try to get away with making a bunch of Native American stereotype jokes. I mean, it's very offensive to Native Americans, and they try to come back and recover.
For the six of them who are left.
Have you noticed? Yeah. Have you noticed though that it seems that like black people are the only race you're not allowed to have another race dress up as? Anybody else, for some reason, Hollywood thinks
Thunder?
it's totally okay. Yes, but that was the joke within the joke is that it wasn't okay.
Well, but
Yeah,
that's,
I
but
like
that-
how you see it like
but
that.
that joke is, but that's the exact same joke here.
Is it
Is
done
that
the same way?
they
Okay.
really play that up at the end really heavy, where it's like, look, this is this guy's impression of an entire,
But it's
Culture.
almost still like, you know what, we have all these Native American jokes we want to put in here that are offensive, and we're going to do it anyway, but we'll just make a disclaimer at the end which makes it okay. And it's like, no, it doesn't make it okay. The shit is, and not only that, it's just dumb. It's interesting the other caliber of talent that they bring into this movie that you would not expect to see, like Martin Sheen they bring in here. Who acted in the West Wing with Martin Sheen, who makes a cameo?
Oh yeah, no. There's a brief appearance by Richard Schiff. Richard Schiff shows up for half a second. You know what? I am one of the world's biggest West Wing fans. I didn't even put together Richard Schiff and Martin Sheen because I so wasn't in that headspace.
Yeah, no. I'm putting together other things like Ronnie Cox from Beverly Hills Cop reteams up with Eddie Murphy.
I saw that from the trailer.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Who looks like a fucking frog now?
Yeah, he looks like a wax dummy.
Yeah,
it might not even
who's
be
melting.
him. Like they went to like Madame Tussauds and guys like, look, can we borrow this just for these few scenes?
Anyway, in this, it doesn't even matter because if we're talking about Eddie Murphy playing exec, it's Eddie Murphy doing fucking Eddie Murphy and everything.
See, but that's the problem.
No. In this, we have squinchy face Eddie Murphy when he shows his teeth and does this. We have gay Eddie Murphy when he makes fun of somebody being gay, which I think is natural for him. And then we have Eddie Murphy singing in every singing voice that he's done on every album in this. I'm surprised this girl didn't put the blanket over his head and bring it back up and it was Donkey under there. Hey! It's like, holy shit, man. I mean,
not only does he hit the greatest hits of the faces and acts, he pulls a total Robin Williams.
I was just going to say.
He's the Robin Williams, Fosse. But he also even goes so far as to pull out bits from his other family films to where he does the cutesy face when he says the word poop.
Yeah, the Bill Cosby face.
Yeah. He's got the little poop, and we're gonna say poop a couple of times, and that's what this whole movie is. All the humor from this film is that.
Dude, you totally forgot to use quotey fingers when you said humor.
Yeah, right.
I did the quotey fingers.
But Corey, you were saying this is fucking Eddie Murphy, but that's the problem. It's not fucking Eddie Murphy. We need fucking Eddie Murphy back when he used to say fuck every other word. That was when he was funny.
You guys don't do math. We've had bad Eddie Murphy way longer than we've had good Eddie Murphy.
You're right.
Yeah.
But good Eddie Murphy came back to us in Dreamgirls and gave us hope again.
No, that was talented Eddie Murphy, but that wasn't like funny Eddie Murphy.
That's true.
And I tell you something, man. It was that look. You know what I bet it was? He looked out the window, saw his car being towed, and somebody filmed it. So the director was like, "Get that, because this motherfucker never shuts up," But this movie, what can I tell you about it? I really would like to say it's for kids, but throughout the movie, they're talking a bunch of financial talk.
Star Wars principle.
Yeah, they're talking about, Eddie, this report here is good and this and that. And it's just like, kids don't want to hear this shit. I mean, it's a Nickelodeon film. I don't want to go to like Merrill Lynch and listen to this shit.
Except that it's totally the kids' version of it. Because what I found funny was the fact that these imaginary friends were feeding him financial advice for what was going to happen in 2 hours. Like, it's literally, he's supposed to be a mutual fund guy. And if you're actually paying attention, it's like, they're not giving any good long-term advice at all. They're telling you what's going to happen at noon. You have to decipher what's on that glitter page.
You can tell why Eddie Murphy did the movie, though. I mean, he's only looking for the money at this point in his career.
Oh, no.
And he sees a script just filled with financial stuff. He's like, yeah, I understand that.
Hey, some of this might pan out.
Yeah, look, I'm telling you, Family Eddie Murphy is more profitable than fuck Eddie Murphy has ever been long time.
From a dollar sign point of view,
yeah,
absolutely.
So kids love looking at Eddie Murphy like we used to love looking at Bill Cosby, except Bill Cosby was a little more clever. And he was one note, but there was just his humor was much funny. He knew how to tell a story.
The difference is Bill Cosby held up, and Bill Cosby amused our parents.
Well, what I'm saying is Bill Cosby told stories, and he used those faces and mannerisms in the context of something. In this, Eddie Murphy has himself on speed dial. He presses a button whenever he needs a certain little expression or mannerism or gesture.
Plus, I gotta wonder, these sound like some really shitty imaginary friends if all they're doing is handing out financial advice. Like, if I'm a kid, I want fun imaginary friends. Not the ones who are, reading Kiplinger's and giving tips on the Dow Jones.
Well, now, they are fun friends. That's the thing, is that she has this whole magical land with dragons and burnt down forests and caves that she crawls through, and that these imaginary friends are these princesses, and these princesses just happen to say, tell your daddy that this word here, that someone's going to pull their pants down and show their underwear, and the underwear is going to have poop in them.
As much as this movie bored me, because it's not so much that it annoyed me. I mean, I actually like Eddie Murphy, even when he's in a family film, if he's funny. The whole message of this is be close to your kids, else you're going to lose them, and they're going to resent you. And when he starts to spend time with his daughter because he's using her for her imaginary friends,
How
Yes.
sweet.
yeah.
No, that's the thing, and he doesn't realize till towards the end of the film that, you know what, maybe he really did enjoy the time he spent with his daughter.
It's very. You mean you just telegraphed from far away?
Yeah.
Then the little girl, I think his name is Yara Shahidi. Anyway, if that's her name, there's certain scenes when they're together, and you can tell Eddie Murphy is actually amusing this little girl. It's not like he's acting. You can tell this little girl is having a really fun time with him, and those scenes are adorable. I was really enjoying seeing him with that when they were like clowning around together. It was funny to me.
I don't know, dude. Girls are learning to fake it younger and younger.
I would not know.
We have kind of burnt pancakes and really burnt pancakes.
Oh, let me have 2 kind of burns, please. Perfect. Now, do we have any condiments or anything like,
What do you mean by that?
you know, like syrup or some honey or some?
Ketchup, mustard,
I think it's going to add some mystery to the dish.
yeah, the hot sauce.
What happened to the pancakes?
There. Perfect.
You pray with Daddy. Man.
Okay.
Dear Lord,
Dear Lord,
please protect my daddy's throat.
please protect my daddy's throat.
Amen.
Amen.
And then there's scenes where they have like little spots in there that made me kind of laugh, like that guy Bobb'e J. Thompson.
Oh yeah, that kid.
They show that whole scene pretty much is
It's
in
like
the trailer.
you bring that kid into your movie for one reason, but he delivers like the postman.
And when he's in there for that moment, and it's funny the way Eddie Murphy addresses him, because he's going to try to meet his daughter at like this Chuck E. Cheese ripoff place, and he sees Bobb'e J. Thompson. Now, this kid in the movie is supposed to be like around 9 or 10, and Eddie Murphy's like, "Hey, brother, come here, let me talk to you, my man." And Bobb'e J. is like, "Hey, man, no, I want more money than that." And it's like, these two kind of riff on each other. This kid could possibly be the Eddie Murphy we want.
Worst thing here is that they've teamed up Bobb'e J. Thompson with Eddie Murphy, which means how long is it before we get that father-son switching film with the two of them?
He's literally, it was a walk-on. I mean, it's literally one of those scenes that they put that in there for the comedy, but there's no reason for that scene to be there. It's kind of like, hey, we've got access to this kid. Let's watch them play off each other because he's like a young Eddie Murphy.
No, you didn't.
Hey, little brother. Hey, brother. Hey, my man. Hey, little man. Hey, won't you do me a favor? I want you to go into the kids' only room and talk to Olivia Daniels and tell her dad's out here. I'm gonna give you $20. Go in there and tell her that dad's out here and needs the goo guy, okay?
A what?
It's a goo guy. It's a pet name for the blanket. I need the blanket. Just go in there and tell Olivia Daniels and her dad's out here and get the blanket. $20, man. Come on, brother.
I'll take 50, my brother.
50?
Or you can take your grown self up there and get the goo guy on your own.
I got this. Peach coffee card.
I'm a kid. I don't drink coffee.
Well, they got other things. They got cookies and cakes and scones. You like scones?
Scones? What I look like, the Queen of England?
Get this food!
Hey, come on. Hey, stop it right.
And that kid, Bobb'e J. Thompson, he's 13, but Cyrus at one time.
13?
Yeah, he's 13, but Cyrus stated one time that he had the Gary Coleman disease.
No, I said he looked like he had the Gary Coleman disease. Because you're like, man, this kid is smart. He's like, he does. He's Websteritis going on there.
I just picture you in a lab, like you have discovered, like you're looking through a little microscope, you're like, aha, that gene that causes the Gary Coleman disease.
Well, the funny thing is, like Gary Coleman and even Webster, like, they would get older and they look kind of like they were short and misshapen.
Yeah.
But he's just like a little person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he came from Lilliput.
Yeah. Oh, and this girl, Nicole Ari Parker, in this movie, who
Oh,
is
yeah.
fine
She's
as
been in a lot of
hell.
stuff. She used to be on the Soul Food TV
The Soul
show.
Food TV series, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that alone was like, even though she's got a haircut like a goddamn troll doll or something. I don't know what the hell she did to her head in this movie, but she is hot as hell, man. It was a joy every time she came on the screen. It broke the monotony. I did not like this movie at all. I mean, I was terribly bored
So
by it.
it's not quite Norbit, I take it.
No, it's not. But the thing that got me is the things I mentioned before. It's like when you have those few fleeting moments where Eddie Murphy is being the dad, and you feel like he really is being a dad in this movie. And there are a few parts where Eddie Murphy it's just silly, and you laugh because it's silly. So I can't say I hated it, but I did not like it, and I give it like a scrape of a rental.
Scrape of a rental is a good way to put it. I mean, really, it's a rental. And it's a rental only to the extent of I didn't hate it, and it's hard to hate it. You have to really try to hate it. It's just not god-awful. There's some other things we didn't discuss, like the Beatles music they mangle in this film and turn into soft rock, terrible, terrible covers of classic Beatles songs. But There's no reason to see this at all unless you have kids and those kids say, Mommy, Mommy, Daddy, Daddy, take me to see Imagine That.
No.
Otherwise, take them to see something else, go outside, fly a kite, get some ice cream. There's no reason to see this movie. It's so unbelievably mediocre.
Unless someone put a gun in your head and said it's this or bedtime stories.
Imagine That.
Can I please see the bill? $400,000? You must be out your mind, woman. You trying to get